At the bottom of the world and in the top of my paddock, I've built a restaurant and commercial kitchen that'll serve up all the food we grow and rear in our 70 Tasmanian acres. We're just slicing up bacon to take to the market. When the bacon's made, we make it big, whole flitches, you know, and then you can see the beautiful eye, the loin. There's a lovely layer of fat. So this is the bit that runs along the spine, and then that's the belly. Dark skin, so this has been in a proper smoker. You can actually smell the smoke coming off it. The biggest problem we have is that we're only allowed to open the restaurant a couple of days a week, which means we have to constantly find new ways to maximise the return on this huge investment. These are pots of a bean and pork stew. So Hugh's knocked this up. It's got a touch of honey for sweetness. It's got, you got kale in there, Hugh? Yep. Yeah, so we're using stuff we can find in the garden. At the end of this week, we'll be serving up this stew to paying customers when we open the doors for our first ever Friday feast. With this excess being sold at the market, it's all part of the business plan to pay down our massive debt. My name is Matthew Evans. I was once a food critic living in Sydney. Now I'm a pig farmer in country Tasmania. Life in the country has taught me a lot about food production, with many challenges along the way. And now we're embarking on our most ambitious project yet. We want people to experience how we live and taste the food we eat. So we're building a restaurant right here on the farm. From critic to farmer to restaurateur, how hard can it be? With both the cooking class and our first official service, it's going to be a busy week.
Bookings, bookings, bookings. This is kind of exciting. I'm just looking at the first one and it's sold out.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Nothing else is.
With locals or interstate? It'd be locals, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of mostly coming from Hobart.
That's local enough.
Cool. High five.
Whoa. Leading up to the soft launch, I did manage to have some wins. That's the real thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the deal.
But there were some losses as well. My explosive cider being high on the list. There he goes. While that remains a work in progress, an orchard is still a great asset.
Whoa.
And I reckon an apple cider vinegar could be a good option. And just across the Huon River in South Franklin is a lady who may be able to help.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Look at this, it's like a treasure trove. Jars of stuff.
Kathy Johnson makes vinegar. Lots of vinegar.
Traditionally, people think about apple cider vinegar as the waste product from the cores and the peels and seconds, or just whatever you don't want, blend them all up and turn them into this great thing with the mother. That's fair enough. But what I wanted to do was see whether there was difference in all the actual apples themselves. So I've got Pink Lady and Lemon that's absolutely delicious.
So these are all apple?
Apple varieties.
All those different colours?
Like, you don't go to the supermarket and say, can I have an apple? You go in and you say, I like this apple. And I think it should be the same with vinegars.
Right.
And then there'd be millions of combinations. Then you can sort of branch out and you add different things and different honeys, because you can see the different colours.
Kathy has a food van out the back where she juices fresh apples in preparation for making vinegar.
You can see how you've got all this in amongst here?
Yeah, like that's what, just sort of solids or something, or?
Yeah, the pulp and the fibre. Now, I like a nice clear vinegar.
Yeah.
So I like to get that to be scooped off the top.
So vinegar, you make it sound really simple.
It is. Overall, I leave it to nature as much as possible and do a one-stage ferment. Throw everything in from the beginning.
That sounds idiot-proof. Perfect for me and just the type of process I love.
You can touch it.
I can touch it?
Yeah, look.
Wow.
It's the boat. It's just a cellulose boat that the mother builds. So the mother is in it, but you don't need the SCOBY to make a vinegar.
So a SCOBY?
Symbiotic community of bacteria and yeast. So they work together, the bacteria and the yeast and...
To ferment?
Yeah, because all different varieties.
And they create a SCOBY, and that's a SCOBY.
This symbiotic community of bacteria and yeast, SCOBY for short, is what makes vinegar. The SCOBY holds the vinegar mother, which converts the sugar from the apples into acetic acid, which is what gives vinegar its tart taste.
It's a pretty simple process. You can either leave it to be a wild ferment and not add a starter, which can come from what's ever created out in nature from the skins.
Yeah, like I do with my cider. Or...
You do a wild ferment, which is lovely local stuff, or you can take a bottle of vinegar that's got the mother in it.
Yep.
Tip it all in.
So how much are you going to add to this?
Usually about a quarter.
A quarter?
Yeah, but you don't have to. That'll be enough. Now, if we did have a SCOBY, we could put that on the top as well, if you were doing it at home and you wanted to hurry the process up.
That speeds it up?
Yeah. Now, vinegar needs oxygen. It's different to your alcoholic fermentation. So it's a simple process. Nice, clean, fine weave cloth so mould spores don't get through.
Yep.
Just put that on the top and put it in a nice dark spot in the house and just keep an eye on it. The main thing is you just give it a little shake every day.
Right.
And that helps to stop the mould from happening on the top.
The best indicator that the vinegar is ready is that the SCOBY has dropped to the bottom. Basically, it's eaten all the sugar. Kathy even has some surplus SCOBYs that she stores in a jar and keeps alive by feeding them fruit and veg.
So I've got a SCOBY here for you to take home with you.
Yep.
All you've got to do is, there's probably about 3 in there. So you just put your finger in down the side and grab one.
Sure.
Like that. They usually tear apart, and then you just pop it in that bucket. And that will be beautiful for you to put in a bigger jar and kick you off with a pretty quick ferment. Take as much as you like.
Yeah, is that one? Or
Yeah,
is that...
that's it. That'll do you a nice big one.
Whee.
Look at that. I've juiced this from the neighbour's pear tree for you as a bonus.
As a bonus.
Pear and Maya lemon
Yep.
with a wild ferment.
So 2 bottles and a SCOBY.
Yes.
All right.
You're rich now.
We've got to find a little lid for that.
I know, where did I put that? Ooh, where are you, lid?
This is perfect. Our own cider vinegar will be a great thing to sell at both the restaurant and the market. And every little bit helps. With our first official Friday feast, a market stall and cooking class by Ross, it's going to be a busy week. Ross lives across the water on the beautiful Bruny Island, where he has a farm and commercial kitchen that supplies his market stall.
Come over to see what Ross can do for us for the restaurant. He's got a sausage in mind that'll suit us, hopefully perfectly.
This week's cooking class is a sausage making workshop, but I'm hoping Ross might also be able to supply some of his own produce to the restaurant. And he has a new piece of equipment that should make this easy.
Hey, Rossi.
How are you?
Very good. Proper kitchen for a change.
Yeah, well, it's changed a fair bit since you last seen it. I suppose equipment-wise, I've got, door fridges, slicer, electronic scales, and
that's
this
the one I'm
is what
looking
you're
at.
here to see, yeah.
The bowl chopper.
Yeah, for a kitchen this size, and I've got this piece of equipment, I'm pretty lucky.
Bowl choppers are great at emulsifying sausage meat, and one this size can do about 90 sausages at a time, which is about the quantity I need.
So I've just got 2 to 1, so 2 kilos of pork to 1 kilo of venison.
Yeah. You made that up. What's that?
I've just put together a spice mix. I'll just check, it's written on my fridge door. It's coriander, allspice, mace. I haven't got any garlic in there, but...
That's mace, the orange?
Yeah. So I've got allspice mace there because I know you like both those, but I find myself, I don't know what it is about allspice with pork and also with venison. It creates this flavour of it. And especially being emulsified, I think those spices will be great.
Yeah.
Really good.
The last ingredient is salt, and we're ready to make the sausages.
And let's get on with it.
OK, all right, I'll just grab my key.
Your key.
Yeah, to start up the bowl chopper.
So Ross got a really good bargain on this lovely old bowl chopper. The only problem is it doesn't run on the power supply that the house has got. It runs... He had to go and buy a generator. A year after he got the machine, he had to go and buy a generator because he suddenly realised he could never be able to use this unless he had a 3-phase generator.
A 3-phase generator provides industrial-strength electricity.
Oh, great.
but it looks like it's having some industrial strength problems.
You're on your own if it's a piston ring.
There we go.
Okay.
Now, where were we?
Okay.
All right, just want this thrown straight in.
Yeah. Just throw it on the front there. Now just flick it on the side there, Matthew. See that?
As the bowl cutter goes to work, Ross adds the spices and salt.
How long should it take?
I'll let it run like this for probably about a couple of minutes, and I'll make sure I keep on feeling it so it doesn't get hot. Then we'll start adding a bit of ice.
The ice helps cool down the heat generated by the blades, as well as emulsifying the meat.
And watch the consistency change on it soon. Okay, you have a look at that now.
Yeah, happy?
I reckon that's good.
Yeah, the ice is all gone.
Yep. There we go. There we go. So if you have a look now, it's still got a little bit of a texture to it,
Yep.
but it is that soft kind of a Savoy meaty. And once we pipe that out
Yep.
and you poach it, I mean, that's no cream, no eggs, no fluffiness, but I like to make sausages with meat in it.
Yep.
So that's the reason why I do them like this.
We're making a venison and pork knackwurst, and with the filling done, it's time to turn them into rossages.
If I didn't know
Yeah.
that this was going to taste amazing, I'd think it looked pretty ugly.
Looked like luncheon meat or tinned spam or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
Yeah,
that tinned...
It does look like that luncheon meat.
luncheon meat. Yeah.
Ross uses a natural casing from pork intestine for his sausages.
And you can poach these straight away, or do you, like most sausages, you have to leave them overnight?
Look, I find when you're poaching a sausage, you can pretty much do it straight away. Just don't like throw it in boiling water. Take it in from cold up to hot, and just do it nice and easy.
Poaching helps preserve them before they're refrigerated, ready for frying. These knackwurst are preservative-free, which is why they're a different colour than the ones you buy in a shop.
Cooked.
Yep, cooked through. Suitable grey colour. You're getting a lovely sort of sweetness from the spice. It's really filling your nostrils. But then it's really, really gentle, calming sausage underneath. It's kind of deceiving. You're expecting it to be...
Yeah, in your face, but it's really subtle.
This will be a great sausage for our opening Friday feast. But its simplicity will be perfect for today's sausage making workshop. We were a bit short on numbers for Nick's cheese making class, so now it's time to see how Ross will go. So this is this first sausage workshop. It's full, we're fully booked, which is great. Good numbers today, so a little bit of pressure on Ross, which is a good thing. I'm just here to make sure it goes smoothly, Ross.
Mate, as long as we've got more numbers than Nick's class, I'm all right. I'm happy. That's
you do,
okay.
actually. You got 2 extra.
Oh, well, 2. Only takes 2 to win.
That's 25% more.
8 people is our goal for these classes, and it's a sellout.
My first cut to bone it out is to come on the backside of the scapula.
Sausage making is nearly as old as civilization itself, and began as a way of preserving meat without refrigeration. The reason we invented sausages is because we didn't know what to do with some of the meat. So if you have a look on here, all these bits, you can actually take all of those, the scrappy little bits, mince them up together, put them in a sausage, you get something great tasting.
So today we're going to be making 3 kilo batches of the specialty sausages. Then we're going to be making a big batch of pork and fennel.
The reason we're doing smaller batches is because Ross has got this big thing called a bowl chopper, which is a bowl that spins around with rotating knives that are vertical, but no one's got one of those. So we thought we'd do it in a food processor to show you that way of doing it. It's pretty much the same process as Ross does with the bowl cutter. You just don't need a generator.
Once you stop hearing the sound, the ice has been added in. There we go. You see the way it's all nice, white and fluffy, and it's got all that, and it's still got the big chunky bits of skin in it?
Ross's sausages are all meat. It was the English who first started adding bread and other binders to their sausages. But when the fat dissolves, the bread expands and sausages tend to explode, hence the name bangers.
So this is the way I like to tie them. I find this the easiest. This is the way I do like that and twist it, then I pump through, and I go like that. I go round, pinch, pump. So it's all about, and you don't want to look at it. Yeah, but I was saying, you don't want to, I will slow it down, but you don't want to look at it, because when you look at it, that's when you'll get confused.
Yeah. Turn that. Hang on. So that's got to go
That's in the wrong place, isn't it?
So
sausage making
just
isn't
right.
hard until this point.
Yeah, so
Everyone gets to take their own sausages home.
fantastic.
And for lunch, I've oven roasted some of Ross's in stout and olives. A good test run for tomorrow's lunch.
That went well, Ross.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? They seemed to enjoy themselves.
That's the aim.
Yeah, that's it. And the good thing was we had 2 more people than Nick, so it always makes it good.
On you, mate.
Cheers.
I was amazed what you know about sausages. A long time since I made sausage with you, and you seem to have picked up a few skills in the meantime.
And changed all the recipes that I
And
had in
changed
the
all
book.
all the recipes that you gave me actually were completely out of date.
I know.
Well, Ross passed the teaching test with flying colours.
Cheers, see ya.
And now the pressure turns to me as we prepare for our first ever Friday feast. It's Thursday, so it's prep day for tomorrow's first ever Friday feast. A few weeks back, we had a dress rehearsal for the builders and friends.
We owe every single person at this table a very different debt of gratitude.
But this is the main event.
We've got 36 people, it's full house. And it's a bit different this time. They're actually paying for the experience. So, got to make sure they're all happy. The oven's now up to speed. We can bake some bread in the morning. We're hoping to just bake some baguettes. And apart from that, you know, just fine tune everything. Make sure everybody knows their roles, feels comfortable, that we all don't finish the day quite as exhausted as we did that first time.
In the kitchen with me today are Kelly and Hugh, and Jono, our gardener, has just dropped off today's fresh produce, straight from the garden.
So this is what he's delivered this morning. All these beautiful carrots, which I've just taken the top off. We've got some lovely leeks, fennel.
For my welcoming course, I'm going to use these leeks in individual bacon and leek pies.
This is a pastry I've been working on for a few years, so it's got yoghurt and a little bit of cream in there. It's quite buttery, so the yoghurt makes it crispy, the butter makes it short and delicious. Pretty good view from the window of a commercial kitchen, I have to say. Never seen one like that before.
I've rubbed the butter into the flour, and now it's time for the yoghurt and cream, which I'm gently mixing in.
I'm gonna just pop that in the bowl and keep that in the fridge. It's already gone really soft, just with my handling. Chill it down again while I make the filling.
I've got another fresh flitch of bacon, and I'm only using the end, with the rest going to the markets.
I only need that little bit for this to flavour it.
The fat is perfect for frying the bacon and leek before getting to work on my chilled pastry.
You can make a little disc, and it's melting as I can feel it melting as I work. It's quite warm in here with the wood cooker going, and then just popping it into the tin.
I'm adding my bacon and leek mix, and these will be finished off tomorrow, baked fresh and served up as a welcoming snack. Although the inside of the restaurant is complete, outside still needs a bit of work, and wouldn't you know it, the earth movers have chosen today to turn up to work on our car park.
So this is it. We've got the first paying guests coming through the door in about an hour and a half's time. And we haven't quite got the car park finished, but we do have a digger there. So they get to see that we are putting in some effort. We are trying to get everything ready.
I'm using some of the pear cider vinegar that Kathy gave me for a pickle.
And I've got these sweet, lovely Japanese turnips, but because I didn't pickle them yesterday, I'm putting them through this thing called a mandolin. It just slices things very evenly and very thinly. They'll actually pickle in the next hour and a half, which is really good. That's a little bit of dill seed. It's a really lovely pickling spice.
The pickles will accompany our first plated dish, but on arrival, all guests will receive those yummy leek and bacon tarts.
And try not to add so much mixture that it comes over the side of the pastry case. These should slide out relatively easily once they've cooled a little bit. But if I overfill them, the egg goes down the side, slips down between the pastry and the tin, and that actually acts like glue.
One thing's for sure, the weather today is a lot different to our dress rehearsal, which was only a couple of weeks ago.
It is actually snowing outside. Oh my God.
And this time around, it's lovely working with my wood-fired oven, aka the Dennis.
Woo. That's what I'm looking for, that beautiful brown base. So I know they're cooked and the pastry's cooked.
The road here hasn't been easy, but it has been rewarding.
Would you like a pie?
Why not?
Everything I've learned about farming and cooking over the past 7 years, I can now share with my guests.
The idea of our Friday feast is that we take produce that we grow within the fence line of the property and try to come up with a way to cook it and serve it to you.
The food is seasonal and as fresh as it can be, but it's more than just paddock to plate.
Smells amazing.
It smells really good, doesn't it?
It's also people to paddock, and as part of the experience, I want people to walk the ground, smell the smells, and see exactly where their food has come from.
So Jono came and we wanted to expand the garden. We took him on a year ago. Sadie said to me, look, yeah, great that you want to build a restaurant, but if you want people to eat from the garden, she didn't want to have to grow it all. Sadie very wisely said you need 6 months. You've got to employ someone 6 months ahead to get the garden ready. So we got Jono on board and then promptly opened 12 months later. So last February we had so much food from this garden, it was insane.
Did you invent that, or
I wish.
you wish?
No, that's a broad fork. And that just breaks up compaction, and it's a really simple and effective tool.
Full tummies, smiling faces, what more could you want?
Oh, wish we'd taken this out of the freezer just slightly earlier.
It's strangely anticlimactic, but it all worked exactly as planned. And if today is any indication, I reckon we're on the right track.
The bitterness is a little high for me.
Are there food critics here?
Man, just need some gravy.